Peace everyone, welcome back to another video. So today we're really going to be going into the modalities and the elements in astrology and in life really, right? And how you can use these elements and these modalities and how you can view them and how you can pinpoint them in yourself and in others and use the energies to really, like I said, heal, right? To really use it for deep shadow work and also to use it for light work as well, to help others to recognize these patterns within themselves as well and embody the energies in a way that is helpful to them. But let's start with the elements. Elements and modalities are so basic. They are the very foundational part of astrology that you really do need to understand before you jump into astrology. And it's not just for astrology, really. It's used in tarot, it's used in numerology, all this energy is used in different ways. The elements are earth, air, fire, and water. Ether is not included in astrology. We're just focused on the four. So it's air, earth, fire, water. So we're going to go through each one and I'm going to just give you the overview of what each element means. Earth energy is a very stable energy. It's a very grounding energy. It is just like the earth that we live on, right? It is stable, it is a foundation, it is solid, it is built upon something that will last. Earth energy is dependable. Earth energy it's such a beautiful energy because it is stabilizing for other energies, especially energies that it works well with. So earth energy is Virgo. Virgo's an earth sign, Capricorn is an earth sign, and Taurus is an earth sign. So those three signs are the signs that represent earth energy in astrology out of the 12. And those three signs represent earth in different ways because they're different signs, but they all have that same commonality of a stabilizing, grounding, natural energy and force. And we all live on earth, so we all understand nature and how beautiful it is and how it represents us as human beings and represents the cosmos and, you know, the macrocosm and the microcosm. And earth energy is so mystical, even though it is grounding and real and 3D, right? Because we can feel it, we can touch it, but that's what makes it so mystical, because earth energy is about seeing the mystical in the mundane, right? A leaf, right? A tree, it seems so mundane, it seems so boring, right? But when you can find the mystical in the mundane, that is what the earth energy is about. It's about finding the beauty in a flower. It's about finding the beauty in a leaf, in dirt, in the natural elements, in a crystal. So the earth energy is very much a stabilizing, grounding energy. Now, the not so positive attributes to that energy can be, you know, very fixed, very rigid, not very malleable, and can also be, you know, boring in a sense because it's the same thing day in, day out. The tree is there, it's not moving, right? And the flower's growing very slowly. It's a slow energy. It's not a fast energy. It's an energy that takes patience. It's an energy that takes nurturing. It's an energy that takes time. There's so many key words around this energy, like I said, time, patience, all those things, and all of them correlate to the signs that are within this energy. So for example, Capricorn energy, Capricorn rules time, right? Saturn, time. Virgo is very analytical. It's the small, it's the details, it's the mundane, it's the day-to-day, like I said with that tree, right? With that leaf. Taurus, fixed, immovable, rigid, that kind of energy. So earth energy is really, really solid and stable, and that can be positive and that can be negative, but it's really about how you use and how you view the energy. Now let's move on to air energy. Air energy is a lot different than earth energy because air energy is very movable, very wispy, just like air, right? Air moves around, the wind blows, not like earth, which is solid. Air moves, air is fast, air is quick, air is quick-witted, air is the mental body, right? While earth is the physical body, air is the mental body. Air is all about communication, air is all about movement of ideas, movement of energy, movement, freshness, right? Not just one thing that doesn't move, which, you know, when something doesn't move, like for example in water, it can get bacteria. With air, it's moving consistently, right? And we don't want stagnant air. Stagnant air is not good for anybody. So air is very, very moving, and it represents the mental body. It represents thought. It represents communication. These signs that are ruled by this air energy, Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. These three energies are all air, but they're still very, very, very different, even though they all represent air. But air is decisiveness. Air is ingenuity, air is innovation. Let's now move into the water energies. So the energy of water is ancient, it's primordial, just as fire energy is. Those are the two most ancient and primordial energies. Water energy is very much about the emotional body. Water energy represents your emotions. It is the energy of destruction, while fire is the energy of creation. And so the energy of destruction, which is water, sounds really bad, but really it moves and washes away all that no longer serves. It moves and washes away that which no longer serves you. The emotions that come up within us as human beings, water is representative of that, because our emotions wash over us. You've heard that saying, right? It just washed over me. It's like a wave that washes over me, because it is so fluid, it is so movable, it is so refreshing when you're able to release energies and emotions that have been held up and stuck within your physical body. When you're able to actually release those via your emotional body, it is such a relief, because you have now washed away the things that no longer serve you. Water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. They all represent water, but in different ways. And these are the signs that are considered to be emotional, because rightfully so, they are ruled by water. Water signs are very, very much intuitive. They are very much connected to the mystical, to the other realms. It is so important for the physical realm, for the earth realm, that we are bound to when we are in a human body, because the way that we express ourselves requires us to have emotion, to use emotion. We're here on earth to experience different emotions, because when we are not in a physical body, we cannot experience those emotions anymore when we are no longer in this body. So the connection between the earth energy, physical body, and the water energy, which is your emotional body, is very intrinsically linked. Those two are feminine. Meanwhile, air and fire are masculine. Water energy with the earth energy in a positive way, when you water soil, it helps plants to grow. But if you overdo it, it becomes mud and becomes sticky and things get stuck, aka emotions get stuck. So there's a pro and a con to everything. And we'll get into the same example with fire and air when I get to fire. You can see in that example how the energies and how they play together can work well and can also not work well, depending on the balance between the two. So let's move on to fire. So fire energy is heat. Fire energy is masculine, just like the sun. Fast, just like air. Fire energy is flighty. Fire energy is inspiring. Fire energy is passionate. Fire energy is all the things that light us up and light us on fire in this lifetime. It is inspiration. Fire signs are Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries. All of them are fire, but they all express their fire in different ways. The fire energy is the energy of creation. Just like water, it is primordial. And it is something that we all experience because we've all been created in our mother's womb. And we are created with that fire energy, with that passion from the act of sexual intercourse that creates us. And there are fluids in the act of sexual intercourse, aka water, that also help to create us. So you see where this is going with the primordial forces of water and fire. Fire energy is what brings forth new life and what brings forth new and fresh energy. When you think about fire energy, I want you to think about that. I want you to think about literally bringing forth, birthing new life. This energy, like I said, is fast moving, it's hot, it's in, it's out. When we have air and fire, which are both masculine energies, these two energies can work together well because when you have fire and you're fanning it with air, it can make the fire grow and the fire can sustain longer. However, if you have too much air, it can blow and cause wildfires and cause destruction and burn down entire forests. So again, there has to be a balance between the two energies. The energies that work well together and the energies that don't work as well together can always be rectified. There's always a way to have balance and create balance, even in two energies that don't seem to work well together. For example, air and water. Air is masculine. It is yang, yang. Water is feminine. It is yin, yin. And the reason why I say yang, yang, and yin, yin is because all four elements have both yang and yin in them in some kind of way. Air, like I said, is yang, yang. So it is the most masculine energy out of all. Fire is yang, yin. So it actually incorporates both sides, however it is leaning on the masculine. Water is yin, yin. And water is the most feminine because it has double yin, yin being feminine. Earth is yin, yang. So it has both, just like fire. However, it is yin first and then yang. So they all have different varying degrees of feminine and masculine energy. So you would think that yang, yang, air, and yin, yin, water, would be so different and have nothing in common. And they are very different. Air is very thought, mental body, whereas water is very emotional body. Those are two very different things. Someone that's very mental and someone that's very emotional will likely not see eye to eye. However, they have the most to learn from each other. So someone that is very, very on the air side and someone that is very, very on the water side can both teach each other something. The water person can teach the air person how to embody their emotions and their emotional body. Meanwhile, the air person can teach the water person how to embody the mental body and how to really get out of the emotions and get into a more logical and a more mental way of thinking and processing information instead of always defaulting into the emotional body. They can teach them how to use the mental body and process things a little bit differently and from a more aloof, from a more objective standpoint. So that's just an example of two energies that seem very different but can actually teach each other the most. Earth and fire go really well together because they're both balanced in the opposing ways. One is yin yang and one is yang yin. And so they actually help each other out and they work together very, very well. Because when you think about a fire that you're creating, you need wood for the fire. And with the wood, you can create the fire. And so it's a beautiful combination that can really sustain air and fire, where the air just has the fire going everywhere. The earth and the fire can really, really sustain. Now let's go into the modalities. There are three different modalities in astrology. There is one that is called cardinal, one that is called mutable, and one that is called fixed. But cardinal energy is where I want to start because cardinal energy is the start. Cardinal energy represents fresh energy. It represents newness. It represents the beginning of a new energy. The cardinal signs are Cancer, Capricorn, Aries, and Libra. These 4 signs create something called the cardinal cross, which we will get into. But these 4 signs represent the start of a new energy, the start of a new season. Aries season, the spring equinox. Cancer season is the start of the summer solstice. Capricorn season is the winter solstice. Libra season is the fall equinox. Cardinal energy directs energy, okay? Cardinal signs direct energy. So they direct where the energy goes. They all direct energy in a different way, but they are the starters. They are the self-starters. They're the ones that are going to go and start the new projects and do it with gusto. The downfall of cardinal energy is that they may start a lot of things, but they probably don't finish them all. So if you have a lot of cardinal energy, then you can really look into your chart and see, and look into your life and see, where do I start a lot of things, but maybe don't finish them, or maybe don't see them through. Fixed signs are the signs of Leo, Taurus, Scorpio, and Aquarius. Now these 4 signs are considered fixed because they are the most immovable energies out of all of them. So while cardinal signs start projects, the fixed signs will see them through to the end. Fixed signs are amazing because they have this immovable, just tunnel vision that they can get whatever done that they need to get done because of this tunnel vision. However, this can also be a downfall of fixed signs because fixed signs it can be hard for them to take other people's opinions into consideration. It can be hard for them to take anything outside of their own internal judgment into consideration. So they could be going super hard in one direction, but it might be the wrong direction. So discernment and a little bit of changeability would be helpful for somebody with a lot of fixed energy, or in other words, that have a lot of energy in those 4 signs. The mutable signs are Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. And these 4 signs are the most changeable of all of the signs. They're the signs that are the most adaptable. They're the easiest to go with the flow. They want to kind of cater to everyone. So they're almost like chameleons. The beautiful part about mutable signs is that they have the ability to really make everyone feel comfortable. However, the mutable signs can also be the most wishy-washy. They can be the most changeable. It can be hard for them to set standards and boundaries and goals and keep those things and see things through. It can be really hard for them because they're so changeable. They go with the energy and they go with the flow, and they're almost like yes men and yes women. If you have a lot of mutable energy, definitely look into your life and look into, are you this kind of person? Are you the kind of person that, yes, everyone gets along with, but also you might kind of be a doormat sometimes. And it is okay, because once you realize that this is something that you have a lot of energy in your chart, you can actually go ahead and move differently in your life knowing this. So enforce better boundaries, stand up for yourself a little bit more, things like that. It'll be really helpful if you have a lot of mutable energy. So that is an overview of the elements and the modalities in astrology, which is the basic information that you need when we go into the next videos, where you really begin to understand how these energies play with each other and how you can use them in your life. I hope this is helpful, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you.